analyzing the games.
Game plan was great.
The players.
I would want him to be a runner like Mahomes.
The plays.
That is a massive, massive mistake.
And each
I
other.
think about it, the more I'm fine.
Zolak and Bertrand, the Sports Hub.
No, hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hey.
Welcome in. It's Zolak and Bertrand.
That's right.
On a Monday. Yeah, a lot of people working here today in this building. Yeah, you noticed
Putting
that?
in a day today, yeah.
Parking was at a premium here today. Everybody's going to work, I guess, again on Mondays.
We got after their ass.
I saw
there isn't even corporate here.
Right? No, I don't think it has anything to do with us. I think it has to just the office building here. Those people showing up to work today.
Christ, I'll come in and Matt Callahan's already opening the door for me out there. Got my mulch delivered this morning. We're ready to go.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Cape Cod Black.
That's very nice. What'd you get?
It smells good.
All right. This is the question. The question is, will Zoe claim to have more yards of mulch, or will Louth use more gallons of shock in his pool?
Oh, B.
This spring.
That's B.
And we already talked to Louth this morning, and he said he's in so far for 20 gallons of shock so far.
Putting up numbers.
20.
Poor children.
Putting up numbers.
He put 4 5-gallon jugs into that pool. 4.
Yeah.
I told him
doing that this year.
I said I put 4 gallons total in mine. 4. And we'll add a little more if necessary. Okay.
Crazy boy.
He went for 20 out of the gate.
Oh, yeah.
20. So update the graphics. So far, 20 gallons into the pool. So far.
He's going to go way over 40.
Bounty over.
More updates to come. More updates to come. You watching any of the playoffs in either the NBA or the NHL?
Watched a little bit of Knicks, Sixers. Hockey, no. It's just like you're so depressed that both teams lost and the way they lost. More so the Celtics, I think. Just the way that the Sixers got handled. Boy, that makes your first series look worse than what it was, I think. That's my takeaway from it. Because I'm going to watch the Sixers, see if they can compete with the Knicks, and sure as hell they couldn't.
Well, why does it make it look worse?
Because they got beat by the Sixers. And the Sixers got their ass handed to them by the Knicks.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, the Celtics, not the series. The Celtics look worse.
The Celtics look worse, not the series, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm how does it look worse? The Philadelphia is,
I take it as you start watching these other playoffs, you're like, where's my team at? That's what you think.
Yeah, it does. I get what you're saying. It makes the Celtics look worse because
I totally agree.
They would have been, it feels like they would have had their ass handed to them in the series against the Knicks.
This what happened with this second series against the Knicks and the Sixers validates everything Brad Stevens said day one of his presser when he went up there. Like, we're not even close to what's going on out there. Like, I got to go get players. Like, this just got competitive, and this is a very, very good conference we're in right now, and we can't even compete in it. Like, that. Remember we sat there after that and said, wow, Stevens is like on another planet as opposed to like Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, like, what an awesome year that was. My best year ever. Seems like, yeah, it was a really bad year. So now you know why. He knows the league better than we do. Or I do, yeah.
There's a ceiling in terms of just playing really hard. And in the regular season, I think it pays off if you're the Celtics. But when the postseason comes around, that really isn't a factor. And he pointed to the record that they had against the best teams in the West and the best teams in the East. And it wasn't very good in the regular season. And you see what Philadelphia gave up 81 points, I think it was, in the first half to New York yesterday. And it was just a non-competitive series. And it would have been non-competitive if the Celtics were up against the Knicks. I think it's pretty apparent.
We need to relax on Celtics in regular season going like a 10-0 run, or 10 games run. Like, just put that behind you now because it doesn't mean anything until you get to the playoffs. It really doesn't. Even these games, you watch them, and I heard Fred Hardy talking this morning, the damn whistles in that first half and just how long it takes, it makes you tune away. It's just bad basketball. And then it amps up in the third and fourth quarter worth watching in the playoffs because they go at it, man. And there's energy there. And there's playing hard. Yeah, I do credit the Celtics for playing hard in regular season, but what's it get you?
Right. No, they should. And Joe Mazzulla deserves credit for getting those guys to play really hard in the regular season.
Christ,
but that doesn't translate to postseason success.
No, and if Brown and Tatum are going to look like this in the postseason, then give them the days off. Give them the load management. Look at Embiid. Like, he kicked your ass when he came back. He did nothing against the Knicks, but like, Jesus, give him the load management then.
So do you think this motivates the Celtics more so than what they already were coming out of losing in the first round?
Yes. I think this is because Brad's good at his job, right? He recognizes what the problem is, and he acts, and he's got balls. And he'll make the trade if necessary, if it's betters the team. Yes, I think this motivates him. As far as we got to do something, if it's big, we got to do something big. Meaning, Brown and Giannis.
You say he has balls. Can you cite a trade or deal that he did?
Derek White?
That was, you looked at and you said, oh, man, that is a massive risk on his part.
Well, he got you to take players for Derek White. And he handpicked Derek White. Like, why are you going after
I know, but that was like a trade deadline deal. Yeah. And Derek White wasn't Derek White at that point when you brought him in from the Spurs.
If Brad Stevens moves one of the Jays, it would actually mark having balls.
Yeah.
I don't think he's got a deal like that to his name.
No,
closest one is the Porzingis Marcus Smart.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, but who looked at that and thought, oh, you can't I know that some people did. But what rational person looked at trading Marcus Smart and thought to themselves, oh, my goodness, I can't believe he was willing to make a deal like that? Like, Marcus Smart? What are you talking about? Your third, fourth best player at the time?
Yeah.
I know we really desperately wanted to be in that big three.
Green team
kept trying to make it a big three. I know that he was desperate to do that, and it was absolutely foolish. And I guess that would be the closest thing, but I'm sorry, that's not like a foundational piece.
No.
That's not a superstar. He's never traded someone that was really a massive part of the team or considered a massive part of its future. He hasn't done that. This would be new territory for him. And that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about trading Derek White if he makes a big deal.
No.
We're not talking about trading Sam Hauser. We're not talking about Peyton Pritchard. We're talking about, is he willing to potentially trade one of their biggest assets in a deal that he feels will make them better and more competitive in the East? And is he now more motivated by watching that Knicks-Philly series and watching Philadelphia get blown out? The team that came roaring back and beat the Celtics. I imagine he is. I imagine he should be.
He should be starting to look at the parameters and the framework of one of those type of deals and what it would take and what it would look like.
Well, if I'm paying a ton of money for Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, I know my team's going to be really good, but how am I going to build that front court if I am allocating that much money to those two guys? And I think that's going to be something he looks at too. And so is it, hey, you know what? We trade him for Giannis, and now all of a sudden we have a legitimate front court piece? Because Embiid destroyed you, and then, like you said, there were times in that Knicks series where he looked unplayable.
Right. And like it's to the point now. It's not like this is year 2 or 3 with these guys, meaning the two Jays together, and like we got this big future ahead of it. Like you've been to 6 or 7 NBA Eastern Conference Finals. You've won one already. At some point, that relationship and that pairing has a shelf life. We talked about this last week. LeBron has moved on. Shaq moved on. Team guys move on. Kevin Durant, when you can't beat him, join him. He left Westbrook and company. How many times has James Harden jumped teams? This is what you do. So it's not like you stay together forever. This is very rare what goes on. And if you're going to keep these guys together, he can be looking at it as like it's kind of come to a head here. And Jaylen's got to the point where he feels he can bounce and get his own team, and we're in the process of getting Tatum up to speed with the injury, and he's going to be better next year. It's phenomenal what he did and how quick he came back, but we got to get him at 100%, and then we need to attack this thing. Did he keep the team together too long? Did they want to break this thing up right after they won a championship, or running it back? Was that the right idea? Was that just sort of a giveaway year?
You think they were going to break up the Jays after winning it all?
No. I'm saying like Porzingis, or if you thought Porzingis could.
Oh, you're saying if they hung on to Porzingis a year too long.
They stuck with the same team.
It didn't hurt them.
No.
It didn't hurt them. So I don't think that matters. So are they more motivated? It's interesting. There's also now conversations and rumors about Jaylen Brown, about the Atlanta Hawks having been interested last offseason. But you know what they weren't interested in? His contract.
That's a problem.
Chris Mannix on this saying that they didn't like his contract. They were leery of his contract. They don't like the number. They don't like what he makes, what he gets paid.
Look around the league. Some of these guys.
They don't love that. And now he's eligible to get more money along the way.
What's Derek White make, 28?
Is that what some of his issues are about? And some of his frustrations. And by the way, We've heard from Tracy McGrady on this.
Awkward.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Also, watching the NHL playoffs, what you think the Bruins would be doing if they had advanced to the second round. Some thoughts on that coming up as well. Very similar to that of the Celtics. Similar emotions, I think, if you've been paying attention to what's been going on in the Eastern Conference. We'll get to all of this coming up. Let's get to that Tracy McGrady thing. It can't wait, T-Bone. It cannot wait.
That's next.
It's so good. It's on the way.
We're back with more Zolak and Bertrand on the Sports Hub.
Because I have a relationship with Jaylen, I know him and I know how he acts, right? So watching this series, how it unfolds, watching the behavior change and uncharacteristics of who I know Jaylen is. So it looked like he was frustrated to me when you go into the media and you say some of the things that he said, when he go on his streaming platform and say some of those things. This is me having a relationship with him. This is not me, having a conversation. I haven't talked to Jaylen at all about this. I just know my friend, and when I see certain things, I see frustration. So after a 3-1 loss, right, to the Philadelphia 76ers, all this stuff is happening, and I'm seeing what I'm seeing because I have a relationship with him. And I think people really not knowing I'm part of the media, right? So if I see something, I'm going to speak about it. And I think they haven't separated my friendship versus me being an analyst, right, in talking about this. So it was nothing that we had a conversation about. It's the things that I'm seeing my friend and what he's displaying in front of the media.
The hell was that, Tracy McGrady? What? What are you talking about?
He's in the media now.
I'll just speak like a normal person. It's just, I
know him. I know what he's thinking.
I know him. And,
I didn't talk to him.
But I didn't talk to him.
I didn't speak to him. This is the guy that Jaylen Brown confides in, like his deepest, darkest basketball secrets. And Tracy McGrady hasn't spoken to him.
It's your job.
And is out there on his podcast saying he's frustrated with Boston and the organization. And then, but
that was the body language.
No, he's reading it. He's reading that from his press conferences. Can you imagine if one of us in the media in Boston, okay, anybody on this show, Felger and Maz, NBC Sports Boston, if someone watched Jaylen Brown press conferences this year and had the takeaway from those press conferences that he was frustrated with the organization, you would all eviscerate us, and rightfully so. And Jaylen Brown would do the same. Now, we read into things all the time, okay? And people get pissed at us for it, but that one would be an effing reach. What has he said at any point this year that would indicate, what has he conveyed publicly at any point that would indicate he was frustrated with the Celtics organization? Nothing. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Sorry. Now, you can find things that say, man, he really enjoys playing without Jason Tatum, doesn't he? Yeah, there's plenty to pick at there. We can read into those comments.
I would say, had this being my most favorite year, yeah, would mean that, yes.
But at what point were we like, oh, he's very frustrated with the organization?
No.
All right, so McGrady says that and wants us to believe that, oh, no, I didn't speak to him. I didn't get that from him. Yeah, I mean, I am friends, but I'm also in the media.
Yep.
And so just, between him saying that he's frustrated and then Vince Carter being like, yup, yeah, I've heard that too. Like, come on. What are we talking about? But I guess the question is it about money? Is it just about him wanting to get re-upped and get more money? And he starts some of that back channel bickering just to be able to get the money, and then doesn't give a damn because money's awesome.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a pile of money? Who doesn't love a pile of millions?
It could be.
The only reason I say no about it just being money is the way that he played this year. Don't you think he was in line to get that extension if he wanted it anyways?
Yes.
Don't you think the Celtics are going to give it to him?
He was in the MVP discussion, yes.
Well, let me back up here. The way he was playing, would he, I guess, deserve it as a guy who was eligible for it? given that they had already given him a Supermax deal? Yeah, I guess in theory, yes. But do I know that this Celtics ownership group, the new ownership group,
would cut the check,
is ready to cut that check or wants to cut that check or understands the culture of the NBA in needing to cut that check? Because I'm sorry, if this guy plays for any organization based on the way he just played, most organizations are like, yep, we got to pay him now.
He would single-handedly, I think, have to put the team on his back and get to the Eastern Conference Finals with the Tatum injury starting to come alive again. With the leg, and he wasn't going to play, but he could play in the next series. He'd have to go out and score 40, average 40 a night, win the series in 5 games, and then get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And the chips fall where they may.
I know that it
didn't feel that way.
I know that we've minimized this Celtics season because they failed so spectacularly in the playoffs, and I know that we've talked about playing hard in the regular season. But the fact is, the Celtics don't have a season without Jaylen Brown.
No.
You remove him from that equation, they can't just play hard all the way to 50-plus wins. That doesn't happen. That's not how it works. So you've got to recognize his talent and what he brought to this team this year. There is no season. There are no play hard Celtics in a 2 seed without Jaylen Brown.
To the point that Joe would be able to roll out that type of lineup, where 3 guys didn't score in his starting lineup if you didn't have Brown, if you didn't have Tatum. There's no way that possibly would have happened. Tatum gave him a burst. I just wonder how that affected him at the end, though. I'm not saying Jason Tatum coming back would be a detriment to the team. It's a shot in the arm, man. And it seemed at first like he kind of deferred, and we were wondering what kind of offense was it going to be. Were they going to revert back to the old stuff, or were they going to continue to run everything through Jaylen Brown? And at the beginning it was Brown, and then sort of like once these playoffs started, they got back to what they were and what we know them, and what frustrates you at times when they do lose in the playoffs. It's like, here we go again, same old stuff, same old problems. And then you get in the matchups, and all of a sudden, maybe get out coached a little bit. And that's what you got to watch now. Because that's 2 bad exits by this team with that type of talent in the playoffs, that Joe Mazzulla has coached, to be fair. I'm not just going to sit here and ride Joe, but, there's a reason this happened. There's a reason this team went down. You didn't adjust properly. You didn't get the team right. You sat there and you said, okay, and Embiid came back, and that was a real trigger for them. It's a shot in the arm. We got to figure out a way to stop that and defend it. You didn't. And you let him take over the series, and then you got eliminated. So now you get all these questions.
Does he want his own team?
I would think yes. I think that's an easy answer, yes. Because he had a chance to sort of walk that back, like McGrady sort of kind of walked back those comments. He doubled down. I doubled down. I don't care what you say. That was my favorite year. My favorite year. He's telling you something there without telling you. What is it? What's the elephant in the room? Oh, Tatum wasn't there. Yes, he's telling you he wants his own team. He's not sitting there telling you, we got to run this thing back. And me and Jason, we got to figure this thing out. We got to go win another one. Not once do you hear any of those two say that. It's about, we've talked it out. We talk about what each of us want. Did you really have to have that meeting when he came back? That right there sort of signified something ain't right there. Something ain't right. Like, they respect each other. They play together. I know Pippen used to bitch at times about Jordan and that, but hey, one's Batman, one's Robin, man. And Michael Jordan will always be Batman.
Tony's in Boston on Jaylen Brown. Hi, Tony.
Tony.
Beto, what's up? Hey, Zo, I'm glad to hear you say that, man.
Say what?
I just heard Beto say that, why is Tracy McGrady saying, but I'm saying I got a different angle on that. What if they did talk, they're friends, and then Jaylen's like, go ahead and put it out there, I'll deny it, and you can say you ain't never spoke to me, but what if that's how he's really feeling, and he's using Tracy McGrady to get it out there? Because there has been some stuff since he's been here about trade rumors. He's frustrated about that. And what Zoe was just saying, he didn't backtrack about this being his best year. I think Jaylen's ready to go, man. He's like, I proved this year that I'm a number one, and he's putting the Celtics in a position, if y'all going to do something, y'all need to make a choice. It's either me or Tatum.
Tony, I believe Tracy McGrady. I believe what he put out there last week was much closer to the truth than anything he said on television.
Definitely.
Yeah, I believe what he said in the first place. Yeah, I don't believe his word salad yesterday when he's now on TV and being put on the spot. Like, hey,
sounded like he was
T-Mac,
scrambling.
what's up with that? Yeah. What's up with you liking certain Instagram posts along the way last week as well? What's up with all of this? What's going on there? So I don't believe whatever that was over the weekend. I believe what he was saying on his podcast with Vince Carter going back to last week. So, yeah, I think it's possible. The question is it real? Does Jaylen Brown really feel that way, or is it leverage? Is it him trying to start things up? Is it him trying to make sure that the new money that he's eligible for comes his way? Is it a money thing, or is it a real emotional desire? Those are my questions. Here are the headlines with Tim McCone. Let's talk about Joe Mazzulla and his future as Celtics head coach. B-Rob says Joe Mazzulla will be under the microscope during the Celtics' next playoff run. Kevin O'Connor on Joe Mazzulla as well. We'll discuss next.
If you need your Boston sports fix, we're here.
You see from the rear angle?
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Zolak and Bertrand, the Sports Hub.
Joe needs somebody on that staff to hold him accountable. I think I think he's done a solid job, but actually I think we're seeing in the playoffs, he is being out-coached, and something's got to change.
I mean, the simplest way to look at what Joe has to do, Joe has one job to do, I think, every day this summer, and that's get better. That's his job. Find a way to get better. Whether it's X's and O's, whether it's game planning, whether it's, after timeouts, ATOs, and all, whatever it is, find a way to get better, because Joe is slowly but surely establishing the reputation of being a really good regular season coach. Someone who does really good things in the first 82. But when the games matter most, he's not so great. And again, yes, he's won an NBA title, but when you look at his entire, the totality of his postseason as a coach, you take away the championship year, and it's not looking good.
Gary Washburn, A. Sherrod Blakely talking about Joe Mazzulla, the need to get better as a coach, whether that be X's and O's or coming out of timeouts.
How do you do that in the summer? That's my question. Like,
you spend time with other coaches who are really good at that. That's what you do. That's what all coaches do, and I think this coach does that. So I think it will continue.
I'd say ignore some of the analytics at some point, too. Get back to the in-game gut feel.
What if you change your offensive philosophy?
Yeah, like, hey, this isn't working. Like, I know the numbers say if we shoot this many threes, this is going to work. But every game's different. And there's that feel. And I remember playing for coaches that just didn't have that feel.
Yeah, I would say
guys that, man, in-game feel, scrap the run, let's go, Yeah.
Organizationally, I don't think it applies just to Joe Mazzulla. It should also apply to Brad Stevens and their entire staff and their analytics people, and not listening as much to those people as they do. I mean, that's like organizational philosophy needs to be adjusted. Not thrown in the garbage can, adjusted.
Right. Wouldn't be that much of a travesty to get a big guy, big center, just in case you got to bang it inside every once in a while. Got to score from the paint. It's not just saying, hey, switch that. You got an entire different offensive philosophy. But, yeah, that's great all season long. But when you get into these series and things change, and a guy like Embiid, you can't stop. You got to be able to stop that.
A couple emails coming in. One from Riley who said, at the end of the year, all of a sudden, Brad Stevens started to think I need to get more players. I'm not allowing him that easy of an out. He's just as much to blame for the three-point shot attempts as Mazzulla and the team. Chaz writes, don't bother comparing these Celtics to other playoff teams. The Celtics beat themselves. Too many threes with no adjustments. That's their problem. Part of the problem for them.
Yeah, when's the last time Sharman, name him, Hauser, any of these guys dunked?
If they have that internal meeting, all of them, Brad Stevens, Joe Mazzulla, front office staff, and they only come to the conclusion that it's their roster, well, then they're not gonna fix their problems. They're just not. If they think the only issue was their roster in that series, that's not really doing the due diligence and looking inward to figure out where your problems are.
Right.
And look, post-game, Mazzulla talking about, we got open looks, we just didn't knock them down. It would lead you to kind of think that maybe there isn't a change. But when Brad Stevens was at the podium last week, he talked about, we got to get easier shots. And he was talking dunks, layups, better first looks.
But he also said, I wouldn't question the open shot as a three, though. Unless, you got a defender backing up and there are some contested ones in that. He did say, you get the open shot, you take it. And that's part of the problem. They move the ball until they get that open three, and if you can't hit it, then that is not on them. That's on the player.
I agree, though. I mean, letting Brad off the hook, saying that the three-point approach is just Joe Mazzulla, I don't think that's true. Brad Stevens absolutely has signed off on that, 100%.
Yep.
100%.
So B-Rob says he'll be under the microscope. That is Joe Mazzulla. Under the microscope during the playoff run next year. Is he now coaching for his job?
I don't think he's coaching for his job right now, but if you have another bad appearance like that, you can't really help but defer and look at the playoff record. You extract that, like B-Rob said, you extract that 1 year where they win a championship. It's not a good resume.
Well, that was Sherrod Blakely. That was not Brian Robb.
Yeah.
Brian Robb wrote, he went away from what brought the team success in the regular season, and Boston really had brutal lulls at home offensively that Mazzulla didn't combat well. Given the amount of miscues he's had in non-championship playoff runs, he certainly will be under the microscope for next year's playoff run if the roster is improved sufficiently this summer.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty... No, I think that's
fair.
Yeah.
More than
Let's say they go trade for Giannis, and Tatum comes back healthy, and they win 60 games in the regular season, and then you flame it out again in the first or second round.
Is Brown here? What if you trade for Giannis, and it's Giannis and Tatum and they fell?
Yeah.
That's on the coach?
Yes.
Okay. But same play style.
Yeah.
All right.
You think he's going to survive that? If they lose again 3-1 if they're up 3-1 in the series?
I don't think any head coach survives that. And did you hear a full-throated endorsement of Joe Mazzulla from Brad Stevens in his press conference last week?
I can't remember it.
I mean, he did not at all indicate any of the issues were Joe Mazzulla. And he did at one point say nobody would, agree with this more than Joe when he was talking about one particular thing. But I don't know. I don't feel like he went out of his way to compliment Mazzulla. And Mazzulla was saying that they thought they had good looks. Brad did not agree with that. No. He said he did not believe they had good looks. And so, I don't know. I didn't pick up on there being the super strong defense of Mazzulla that maybe you had heard in previous seasons or just high praise that Brad Stevens has always been quick to offer the guy that he hired.
I think their coaching staff, like all of us, can continue to improve and get better. That said, I think they're very good. We need to continue to provide them the resources to grow and to get better and to continue to be the best that we can be.
I mean, that's saying...
That's a standard answer.
They need to get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To grow. They haven't grown.
And we'll give them the resources to grow. I don't think he's talking about the roster there. He's talking about coaching and coaching resources in some fashion. What those are, I couldn't tell you. But he's in his own words telling you they've got to get better, as we all do. You always throw that in. As we all do. We all need to get better all the time.
It starts with me. Standard. That's press conference 101 right there, baby. It all starts with me. Sort of spreads the blame around. Doesn't pin it on one guy.
So, will he be under the microscope? Yes. Do we have Kevin O'Connor from The Athletic talking about this? T-Bone, if we could. If I may.
The Celtics have long believed that he's going to continue to improve as a head coach. And I think this is really where we're going to see a test here to see if he actually does improve. What are all the great coaches done in NBA history? Greg Popovich with the Spurs, the Twin Towers in the early 2000s with Duncan and David Robinson becomes more of a corner three shooting game in the late 2000s. The beautiful game of the early 2010s when they beat the Miami Heat and LeBron James, constantly evolving the system. And that's what Mazzulla didn't do this year. But it did work to becoming the 2 seed. He He just didn't do it mid-series. This is the test of finding out, can he evolve and add layers to his system to make this team take the step again?
Okay. They expected him to change, grow, get better, evolve. Is that what Brad Stevens is talking about when he's talking about resources, ideas, influence, etc., to be different than what they were?
I think so, right? Like, you keep talking about how the series has changed because Joel Embiid is back. All right, well, so how are you going to evolve in this series now that the matchup has evolved? Yeah. And it didn't feel like the Celtics did that, and it cost you that series, right? So what is the change that you're going to make in series? And again, you go back to some of the flameouts that they've had in the past, in some of these past series where they come up short, and there really feels like there hasn't been that adjustment that you look at and go, oh, you know what? He kind of cracked the code here in terms of what that team was doing.
But Kevin O'Connor's also hitting on something there, which is there was an expectation that has not been met. An expectation of the head coach that the team does not feel he has risen to. So I think you put all that together, and I arrive at the conclusion, yeah, he's coaching for his job. He's coaching for his job in 2026-27. It's a make-or-break type of year for the head coach. And it could be a very different roster when they show back up in a few months.
Just the way Joe talks, and like when we talked about the Coach of the Year stuff, he defers. Like, I think he would agree with that. Like, yeah, I should have to be coaching for my job. It's a results-based business. He knows it more than anybody. He's been around the block. I think that's fair.
Perk had a bunch of thoughts on the C's that he shared with the Globe. You can get to some of those. Get to your calls as well. Open line 617-779-0985. Oh, another picture dropped today of Vrabel and Rossini. That's going to become a weekly occurrence. Not one of any magnitude today. I don't think it's a big one, but it is just another photo of Vrabel and Rossini. TMZ is really hunting for the crumbs right now.
Any pictures. We'll take them. Yeah.
They are the dog under the kitchen table sniffing for a breadcrumb. They are there, man. They are looking for it. We can get to that coming up at the top of the hour. Stick around. It's Zolak and Bertrand on a Monday.
Zoe and Beetle are back with more.
Harlan Classic New England.
Yep. On the Sports Hub.
617-779-0985. The phone number before we get... calls dropped off. Or get to Perk then.
It's that rejoin.
They didn't want to wait.
What was that, like an NSYNC instrumental?
It sounded like Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
Backstreet's back. Oh, yeah. $4 million a night at the Sphere. Concert. We blew it on that one. They were out there. Damn. Backstreet's back. Oh, yeah.
I think it's all right.
All right.
All right. You know what I learned this weekend is Zoe doesn't know the lyrics to Crazy Train like he doesn't know the lyrics to any GD song.
I don't.
What did he say?
And you know what? You know what's with the whole Super Bowl halftime show with Bad Bunny?
You got the video, don't you? You can play it.
with the whole Bad Bunny thing?
That's how I figured it out.
I'm digging more and more of the Bad Bunny music.
Oh, yeah? You're coming around,
I don't know what the hell he's saying, but like to me, like it's classic. I love the beat. The beat hits.
So how was the concert with Reese this weekend?
Phenomenal. Stayed the whole time. That shocker of the day right there. Saw my boy Diossi, had a little steak. Good to catch up with him. And hit the concert. Night Ranger was good. Very good. Surprisingly good. Good outreach for the show down there, though. I'll tell you
Sister
that.
Christian, do they make you wait till the end? Or?
That was the last song, yes.
Of course.
Yep. Of course, Reese was the first one in the building and last one to leave.
What kind of crowd?
Packed house.
They packed it?
Oh, yeah. Packed house.
There you go.
Yep. It's like you took
They
everybody
packed that Elks Lodge.
Huh? Oh, that's funny. Ha
The VFW, they really wall to wall.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, it was.
Kendrick Perkins spoke to the Globe on how the Celtics should improve, and I think he's living in fantasy land. I don't think he's living in reality. And maybe there are other people that are living in this same fantasy world that he's living in. But he says they got exposed because they don't have a big. He's saying, I like Kada, but I don't think he's a starter. They need to find an all-star caliber big. Do I break up JB and JT? No. But if Giannis becomes available, I might have to think about it.
So, yes.
Boy, he's hitting on all points, huh?
Like, yeah, no, that'd be great. Giannis along with Tatum and Brown, yeah, that'd be awesome. Do we have any real expectation of that ever coming true?
God, no.
I mean, no way.
I know you can. I know if you put it in the cap machine, the NBA cap machine, there, it would match up. But you're not living in reality. I don't think that would happen.
What are you saying in my ear, T-Bone? What part? What are you referring to?
He mentions more names.
Oh, yeah. I mean, are you talking about the other names in the Eastern Conference? He says, I think if you look around the Eastern Conference in particular, we don't know where Embiid is going to be because of his health. But you have Karl Anthony Towns, who's playing at a high level. He mentions Evan Mobley in Cleveland. You have all these guys that could cause problems that are all-star caliber bigs. I know the Celtics are going to have to match that energy to some capacity. We're witnessing how important athleticism is what he says. Talking about Minnesota, talking about the Spurs, talking about OKC, and he just thinks that the Celtics have a big roster problem, which I would say they've still got some talent on the team.
They still have talent, but when you look at the bench, do they look athletic? Go up and down that bench. They don't look very athletic. Their bigs are somewhat clunky, other than Kata. Kata looks athletic a little bit, but like the other ones, Hazard doesn't look athletic. Garza doesn't look athletic. Sharman, does he look athletic? They're floaters.
Vucevic is old.
Yeah. Sort of a salary dump pickup there. Not like, hey, we wanted that guy.
But Perk says there are 3 untouchables on the roster. They're JB, JT, and Peyton Pritchard.
You surpassed Derek White, huh?
Untouchable. Peyton Pritchard's untouchable?
No, he's not.
What? No, he isn't.
No.
I just think that he's
had a nice year. He had a nice year. He did. But I would consider him untouchable. You have 2 untouchables. Maybe 1.
You have 1 untouchable. I think you have 1 untouchable. It's Jason Tatum, right?
It's Tatum.
Obviously. I defer to it, yeah.
It's totally the case. But he just sees them, build around Tatum, Brown, Pritchard, and then go get Giannis. And get more athletic to match up against some of the best teams in the league. Get better athletes.
Hey, it's a good blueprint if you can pull that off. I don't know how you do that.
It's like, you know what? I think they should build an all-star team.
Write this down. Athletes. Write this down.
Really good players.
All-star big.
Yes, MVP. Yep.
Add to Tatum and Brown.
Yep.
Keep Pritchard.
Make moves. He goes, well, get uncomfortable, make moves. Okay.
All right.
How are they?
But don't peel anyone off the roster.
How are they acquiring all of these guys? That's my question. You can't trade anybody. So you're allowed to trade who? Derek White and Hauser? Hauser and White are available. No one else is for sale. And that's what you're allowed to talk about in the deal. What?
Yep.
How are they getting Giannis under this situation, in this equation of his? I don't understand. I don't know how that happens. I have no idea. We've got some Patriots items to get to in the 11 o'clock hour. There's another picture of Rossini and Vrabel out there today. Mm-hmm. Plus, you've got Vrabel, I think, trying really hard to have all the appearances be normal right now at work. A real try-hard thing going on there.
That's what he's been doing.
Try hard.
He said he's not going to change, right?
Grabbing the blocking pad?
No, I think more socializing with the other coaches out in the open. Really having a lot of laughs.
Yucking it up.
Yeah, yucking it up with all the boys over the weekend in Foxborough.
See, this is going to be his issue. The problem, not the problem, but the issue. Yeah, you can call it what it is. Like it's going to be the magnifying glass. You're going to be watching every single action this guy does now.
Everything's fine. I'm having some laughs. I'm chopping it up with the boys.
He went to the Ha Factory this week.
Oh yeah, did you see it? Did you see the video?
Oh yeah, I mean it's him, but that's him at practice. It's him at practice. That's what he does.
He's just having so much fun out there, you guys. So much fun.
Oh, what a release. Oh, what a release it is to be there.
All right, we'll tell you about the photo that just popped up, where it was, what they were doing this time. Yeah, new day, new photo. Some other stuff on that. Florio, Hawley, Pro Football Talk.
Florio seems to be the most concerned out of anybody.
It feels like he knows something.
It's like
it's so damning. We'll pick it up on the other side after headlines.